his love to me so naturally. Isn't it a nice day? Isn't it a nice day? He's blessed me in every way. He extends his love to me so naturally. Oh yes, I've been blessed with your love and goodness. Lord, you've been so good to me. You've changed my life completely. Isn't it a nice day? He's blessed me in every way. He extends his love to me so naturally. Isn't it a nice day? Isn't it a nice day? He's blessed me in every way. He extends his love to me so naturally. I sometimes dwell on what's wrong, still knowing you're on the throne. But today I will let go, because in your word it says so. Isn't it a nice day? Yeah. He's blessing me in every way. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for the food on my table, clothes on my back. Family doing fine, everything's alright. You're sending your love to me so naturally. Everything that I have because of you. Without you, Lord, you know I'm so blue. You know I'm so blue. Celebrate without you. That's why I love you. Jesus, you saved me. I'm gonna praise you every day, because you love me, Lord. And I'm gonna celebrate. All I have is because of your love. So without use the days that I have to celebrate and always laugh. All I have is because of your love. So use the days that I have to celebrate and always laugh. Isn't it a nice day today? The Lord has blessed me in every way. Can I ever find love like you, Lord? Can I ever find love like you, oh, yeah. Lord? A love like you, Lord. Oh, like you, oh, Lord. Hey, 'cause your love is like an ocean, so wide and deep. And your love is like a great tall mountain that hides in me. You know that it covers me from all of my enemies. Oh, can I ever find a love? Oh, Lord, can I ever find a love? If I searched all over the world, nobody could love me like you. Nobody could hold me like you. Hey, 'cause your love is like a flower in the springtime. You know that it blooms, it grows, it gives a fragrance that
Hello, I'm John Edmerson. In 1994, we formed the group Exodus. Who would have thought all these years later that we'd still be added. You're going to watch tonight our story, all of the ins and outs, and trust me, it's going to be a treat. So on behalf of Lamont, Angie, Terry, Amy, and myself, we want to welcome you to Exodus, the Untold Story.
In 1994, John Edmerson and Amy Walker assembled a distinct group of voices, primarily from the state of Texas. Their name was Exodus, named after the firstborn child of John and Felicia. During the summer of 1994, they rehearsed and recorded with the late Johnny Wilder Jr. Here is their story as told by the original 5 members. Kristen Sims, Terry Mays' daughter, is the interviewer. And now, Exodus, the Untold Story.
You got your reward. Saints of God, we've got a warning for you today. If you're looking for the praises of man, Jesus said these sad words. You've already got your reward. I'll tell them the story.
The Pharisees stood on the streets when they prayed. They would say the same prayers over and over again, all for a show to be seen by men. Jesus said, don't you follow in their ways, doing good deeds, seeking other men's praises. Their pursuit in life is earthly fortune and fame, but in the end is all in vain. Jesus said these words. Snoot out, snoot out, snoot out. Yeah, son of man, you better listen. You already got it.
There are many ways to get to the top. Some the Lord approves of, others He does not. And I know sometimes temptation is so great, but blessings only come.
So the original 5 of Exodus are back together again. Take us down memory lane. How long has it been since you guys have been together?
27 years since this version, the original version of the group, has been together. That was the summer of 1994.
So walk us back to the beginning. How did this group form? How did you pick the members and everything that went into the formation of Exodus?
Well, it all started with the prior years. I was in a ensemble at Southwestern Summer Tour 89-90, and we just had a plethora of talent. John Green, who's no longer with us, who we terribly miss. David Wilson, Denise was Alan at the time. Robert Guy, who went on to sing with acapella, and Denise actually sang with El DeBarge. Cheryl. We just had just a tremendous amount of talent. So I didn't really think that I got my shot with my songwriting, just to be frank. So I said, okay, well, I'm just gonna be in the group and just try to do what I can from a following type kind of perspective. But in the back of my mind, I always knew I got these songs, and what am I gonna do with them? So over time, the early 90s came, and I was actually talking with Amy about potentially doing a project. Felicia and I got married in 93, and we had decided to name our daughter Exodus. So I said, okay, well, let's call the group Exodus. And the group really started with a conversation with Amy. Amy, we go back to the youth conferences back in the day. Amy's voice just stood out, just sang like an angel, a bird, whatever word you want to use. It was just angelic. And so Amy and I were talking, and I said, Amy, there's this woman that I remember seeing in Waco,
Right.
And I remember I was going up with Brother Pointer every other weekend, and I would sing for him. And then I remember hearing this voice, and it was Terry. I said, Terry, we're going to work together one day. And then when I talked with Amy, I said, Amy, there's this woman that I saw, and Amy knew it was Terry. We got Terry's phone number, and then I called you, and I talked about the group and everything, and you were open to it. And do you remember what you told me to do? You told me to talk to Willie. So I had to get Willie's permission, and to have the conversation. He was a strange man calling, and he was good with it.
Yeah.
And so that's Amy and Terry, and then Lamont. The time I was a staff member at Southwestern, he was a student. We were just good friends, And then Angela, I've just known Angie quite a long time. Just comes from a singing family. Despite what Angie may think, I've always been a huge fan of her talent. We just thought that this would be it. So Amy and I, we made the decision to do it. And so the next thing was getting with Felicia.
Right.
I said, okay, we have the group and we need to do some rehearsing. So we sold all of our wedding gifts.
Oh my goodness.
We sold all of our wedding gifts.
Have you signed up to listen to a cappella music by many of our artists? You have? Great. If you haven't, you are missing out on a treat. Go to edmersonmusicgroup.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, and click Launch Broadcast. Start your free account, and you'll have access to many of your favorite artists. Dorian Paul Williams, Straight Company, Exodus 2.0, Steve Adams, Melody Ayers, Southside Singers, Southwestern Christian College, and more. Sign up today.
And now, back to Exodus, the untold story.
Literally sold all of our wedding gifts and to raise money, and sold our furniture and everything. And so I actually flew the group in, and we all came in and we did the first album with 8 rehearsals.
Yeah, there was a hotel down the street from your apartment.
Okay, right. And then Felicia was over hospitality.
It was great.
Amazing.
And she took care of all the meals and just made sure everybody was good.
Specifically, we were upstairs in your apartment.
Yes.
And Felicia was always downstairs cooking the meals. The first time we didn't really understand it. And then as we were coming down for breakfast and then lunch, we were like, wait a minute. Oh, dinner's coming soon. And of course the alarm for all of our meals was, hey, sweetie.
Do you have an interest in recording? Do you need help taking your music from a thought to reality to full production, including videos and distribution? Finally get those songs finished. To take your music to the next level, text or call JT at 513-833-0182. That's JT Emerson at 513-833-0182.
What a great reward if the music brings somebody to the Lord. Hey, when they stop to listen, understand what they've been.
And now back to Exodus, the untold story.
Every time, hey sweetie, from upstairs and downstairs.
I remember, John, during that time, I had 2 children.
Yes.
2 babies at that time. So
That's right.
And that was the first time that I actually got to travel and do any kind of singing.
That's right.
So that was pretty interesting that you actually brought my children, because I was a stay-at-home mom.
Correct.
And I was like, I can't come unless you bring me and my kids.
Correct.
And so your wife took care of my kids while we practiced.
And we never heard them. We didn't hear them. We were there for hours.
What was happening a little before that was Johnny had done a project with Jesse, and then his own project, and then the Melody Ayers did a project.
Right.
And I was so inspired, and I was like, we're gonna have to basically find the best engineer that we possibly could. And I didn't even know that Johnny, if he was going to turn me down or not take my call. But that was the best decision, was to just pursue him. So, we were inspired by Lamont and Frank and, just all the Melodiers, and then Jesse, he's a legend, and Johnny. And we all went to Ohio. And how did we get to Ohio? Did we fly? Did we take a van?
We took a van.
A neon car.
I don't remember that.
We took a van.
Yeah, it was me, Lamont, and Felicia, and Johnny, and I think you all came separately.
It was
The recording was in the neon car. The glass, the airbag exploded. Yes. Yes.
I remember that. I remember that. Yeah.
I remember entering Johnny's home with Rosalind and their kindness and being in awe and walking downstairs to the basement studio.
Yes.
Lamont had already been there.
Right.
So, but that was an experience, and to see everything, all the memorabilia on his walls, and then all of his equipment.
Right.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And then he went. He was ready. He was ready to work.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get that again.
He was ready to work.
He worked all night.
Yes, he did.
We worked through the night with him.
I think we went to sleep. And it was odd to me, like, why are we? It's daytime. Why are we going to sleep? And then Lamont kind of shared, we were going to work later on, so get your rest, and that's what we did.
What was that like with Johnny and Rosalind? What that was something to watch them?
Right. That was amazing to see. With Johnny being paralyzed, and to see his wife just so supportive. So it's like to watch them in action. It's like they give you no excuses in your own marriage to not do what you need to do. Right. So that was Yeah,
it was just
encouraging to see, and
it's almost sacred. I mean, when you're in the company of people who are true Christians, who are servants, and it's just hard not to be made better or encouraged to live better.
You're better because of having known them.
And it was great. I miss Johnny.
It was. We did Love Lifted Me. We did Jesus Love. We did Whiter Than Snow. We did I'm Glad I Know You, The Cross, and I Think I'm Alone. And then Wayburn had just left a cappella. And I reached out to him and asked him if he would do a song on the project. Wanted him to come down to Johnny, but we couldn't work that out. So I just sent him the song, and he rearranged what was Alone Without You to I Can Make It Down Here. And then we added that song to the collection, to the album. And that was our first recording.
That's right.
And so we put it out, and Lamont and I had some secrets.
Yes,
we had some secrets about some of the bass and percussion. You want to tell that story?
Why was it a secret?
Hi, I'm Victor Orlando, and I'm watching Exodus, the Untold Story.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
Well, at the time, percussion and bass was controversial.
Yes. So, me and John were before our time.
Right, thank you.
So, we were doing bass and percussion, and Amy and Terry were still traditional hymn book, red book, sacred selections. And so we added some beats and some stuff to John's music, and they were blown away.
Because it never happened. Let the record show that our issues really came. We never heard it during rehearsal. Those 8 rehearsals, we never heard it.
Of course, you weren't
We
supposed to.
heard, you know, a bass humming tunes ever so softly, or oh, let me make this sound. This, you know, it was beautiful, but it was ever so softly. And then to hear the final product that we didn't even hear at Johnny's studio, and then we found out there was another trip to Johnny's studio with just the 2 of them. We're like, wait a minute.
Right.
And honestly, it's being a West Texas girl, a South Texas girl. We weren't accustomed to that.
No.
And we love music. We were not accustomed. So when we heard Love Lifted Me, oh my goodness. Do you believe in God? We were loving our harmony and we heard the bass line. It's like, what is this?
They were so upset.
Yeah. I was in sin.
Right,
you
right.
know?
Yeah. We had to talk. Right. And we were like, I'm going to get kicked out the church.
That's why people hear all that stuff now, and it's like, that was not in existence then.
Right. That's
you know,
right.
we were cutting edge.
This is my worship attire. This is my worship attire. I rock church pew slay. This is my worship attire. And I'm still gonna pray. This is my worship attire. So say what you gon' say. This is my worship attire. This is my worship attire. This is my worship attire.
Worship is a lifestyle, not a day. It don't matter what I wear, I'm still gonna give the Lord some praise.
I can worship at the beach, worship by the pool, worship in the street, I can worship at school. None of those places be laced in a suit.
Do you have an interest in recording? Do you need help taking your music from a thought to reality to full production, including videos and distribution? Finally get those songs finished. To take your music to the next level, text or call JT at 513-833-0182. That's JT Emerson at 513-833-0182.
What a great reward if the music brings somebody to the Lord. Hey, when they stop to listen, understand what they've been.
Hi, I'm Delania, and I'm watching Exodus, the Untold Story.
Yeah. So Amy called a meeting, and she told me I need to talk with you and Lamont.
Yes.
And we came in, and Lamont and I were just
quiet. They were very quiet and very respectful.
You have been watching Exodus, the Untold Story.
What got Terry and I is that we believed after we had a talk with Lamont and John about their sinful ways, about the bass line.
Yes.
We didn't realize at the time that we were still being duped. We didn't realize that it was being glossed over. We thought we told it, you were going to go back to the studio, talk to Johnny. That didn't happen. The product came out. It's still there.
Blazing crackers, they on fire. You need a treat. You're hungry. You need something to eat. So you need a treat. You're hungry. Show no.
And now back to Exodus, the Untold Story.
And that is proof of how people can change, because clearly Terry and I are not against anything. You know, we went on to really be a part of music in the body, and we're happy about that. Always were before, but you know, it became different, and I believe that kind of sparked something new in our adoration for music.
Right. All this was in '94. This is literally almost 30 years ago.
Yeah. So make sure you take a listen to Love Lifted Me, and do you believe in God? Like, we loved it, but to really hear it was powerful. And even today, listening to those songs, they're beautiful. Because we did it, we know that God's hand was on it. Right. Because I'll have to say, when I did talk to John about Exodus, I didn't believe that he would really do it. But we had fun just having a conversation. And God is able, and can do things that we cannot plan. And so I'm just thankful that John and Felicia were able to get the support they could monetarily. I think young people need to understand that. You can't just create a group and think, oh, it's just going to come together. No, you have to sacrifice yourselves, be spiritual in your decision, talk to God about it, and God will open that door for you to be able to create, and not just a group, but to create the music. And to get the money behind it to service the people, because that's what John and Felicia did. And I'm thankful for that.
Thank you.
Definitely gotta be thankful for Felicia for, you know, that not every young wife would do that part. Not every young wife would sacrifice the way she did, and Felicia is definitely very supportive of you. It was just beautiful watching her serve and to get behind your dreams. Each time you've called us, you know, she's because we don't get together that often. It's been a while since we've gotten together, but each time she's just smiling and just, she's your biggest fan. I believe she's Exodus's biggest fan.
How are we going to sell it? And if you recall, you know, we didn't have a lot of the things we have available today, you know, iPod and all those things, digital albums and stuff. If they were around, very, very few did them. We were still in the cassettes and CDs. So do you remember how we talked about getting the music out?
Well, we were going to borrow from Southwestern, how Southwestern tours, you know, they sent their summer tours to raise money. So they have the product and they just circulated around the United States. So that's pretty much what we did. But John was just the first he was the pioneer to be a solo artist and not raising funds for a school, but using that vehicle to earn his living.
Yeah, we did that. I quit Southwestern, and we did that for about 18, 19 months, and we went as far east. Now, we're living in Terrell/Mesquite Garland. I don't remember where we were at the time, but we went as far west as California, Northern California, Seattle, Portland, and then as far east as Florida, the Carolinas, Georgia. I even went up north, you know, with Lawton, up in Newark, and of course everywhere in between.
Whoa, yeah. Do you love the world?
Now back to Exodus, the Untold Story.
So I just appreciate her. I did not know the story of how you got this money.
Oh, yeah.
So for her to be able to do that.
I had to take out a loan too. I did a whole lot of things out of it.
That's a blessing. Thank you, Felicia.
Yeah, right.
Felicia.
That's fine.
Yeah. So the album came out, and then okay, how we gonna sell it? So at the time I was working at Southwestern, and I was beginning to sell the album, and I would make more on a Sunday than I would make 2 weeks working at Terrell.
Oh, wow.
And so either I was making a lot of money, or I wasn't getting paid a lot. Which do you think it is? So I talked to Felicia, and she said, "Hey, let's go ahead and let's do it." So she let me quit my job, and all I did for about 19 months was just travel and sell the music. And I would, call preachers from all over the country. I worked basically on the weekend, and we were able to go to like over 30 different states selling the music. So that's really like how I'm glad I know you got out there.
Right.
It was just me going to the various congregations, and so that's that's kind of how it got out, and the rest, as they say, is history. So that's like the condensed version of how Exodus got together, came together, rehearsed, recorded, and we got our first project out.
Yeah.
How many kids did you have then? I can't.
Only Exodus. Exodus
okay.
was born in '94. Jules didn't come until '96, and unlike Exodus, Jules likes structure and staying at home and not traveling, whereas Exodus loved getting in her car seat wherever we wanted to go. Okay. So he really is the reason why I had to stop, because he just was not doing well being in the back of that car with Felicia and Exodus. So I had to, go and find me a preacher in church to work with, and I think I worked for the school district, and I've been working ever since.
I want to ask, did out of us, what song did we believe would take off, or did we believe any song would take off?
That's a good question.
Because I did not think it would be. I'm glad I know you.
I thought it was God Is My Friend. Do you believe that was?
I Think I'm Alone.
No. Oh, that's yours.
No, that is the name of the song.
Oh, that's the name of the song?
I Think I'm Alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one.
God is my friend when I think I'm alone.
Oh, okay. See, I thought that one would take off. But
I think what made I'm glad I know you take off were the words of the verses, because there's not that many issues that speak to the things that women, I'll say, go through in life, right? And so I think hearing Terry and Amy pull those words, I've been let down, even abused before, the church really don't hit on those, not even publicly, and especially it being that early in the 90s. Right. I think that was a brand new thing, and people could relate to it in different ways, whether it was at work, whether it was at home, whether it was anywhere in life, but it's been your grace that's carried me, so now, you're not only talking about your issues, but you coming out of it and showing that there is the other side of it. Right. And songs like that didn't speak to most people, but especially women.
Get inspired by watching television with the entire family that will bring you with a closer relationship with God. Christian movies, full live concerts, homecomings, gospel talk shows, kids Bible songs, reality shows, and much more, right here on the Church TV Network. Subscribe today.
Hi, I'm Caleb from Lafayette, Louisiana, and I'm watching Exodus, the Untold Story.
So I think that's why it kind of hit people in different ways. But I thought Whiter Than Snow would be because it's in the book, in the song book, but it also was very prayerful. If you go to a church and hear it, it's not going to sound like that.
Right, right.
But on that song, it's very prayerful, and then it builds at the end, and it just kind of it's just like a plea. We talked about different songs like that's like a plea, or stating your prayer to God. So I thought Whiter Than Snow, and of course Waving Dean.
Right, Waving Song.
Yeah,
I would agree. I think I would have picked Whiter Than Snow. Because I was like I'm Glad I Know You. Well, when I'm Glad I Know You, we struggled in studio. That was my first time having to sing that high in soprano.
Oh,
so
really?
It's your fault that I now sing soprano.
I didn't know that.
Oh no,
I didn't know that.
I was a straight alto tenor, and when we were practicing, it was Amy's job to do the soprano, and I was supposed to do the alto. And Johnny Wilder stuck me in that studio, and then even listening to the original recording now, I'm like, dog, that was high. It was a very high song.
Yeah.
But even now when we sing it, when I sing it, I tend to have to remember that you were talking about I'm Glad I Know You, because I tend to talk about I'm glad I know you, but you originally wrote it as a body.
I did.
Talking about having to remember that. But I would agree. I think Whiter Than Snow, probably for the same reasons. It was a songbook song. It was just very pretty and just real mellow.
Hi, I'm Misty Houston in Dallas, Texas, and I'm watching Exodus, the Untold story.
And David Wilson actually arranged Whiter Than Snow for our summer tour, and I loved the song. And I said, okay, well, let me go back and see how we can kind of exodize it, and we did, and we tried to make it our own. And I just thought you guys did a wonderful job. Amy, Amy, Terry, and Angie they just worked so well together. We were just in awe to just hear their sound, their temperament, just so many things worked well. Now, if I had a song to pick off the album that I thought was going to go, for me, it was The Cross, the title track. I thought that was going to, really be popular, but I don't know if anybody even heard the song.
I'm glad I know you.
Right. What about you? Probably Do You Believe in God? Yeah, I really loved it. I really loved it. But now, what I love most about the tape CD project.
We had all. We had cassettes.
We had them all, right? Remember the color maroon and black?
Yes.
I think it was gray first, right?
Right.
Gray. Yeah. But what I really love about Exodus is that you can play it today, and it's still high quality, and sounds great. And I'm like, who is that? That's us? And we put in the work. We put in the work, and it does help to remind myself I can sing. Yes, I can. I can. But because you over time, you lose the highness or the lowness in your voice, or the temperament of being able to rehearse. I tell other people to rehearse, but for myself to take on that skill of really wanting to be good at the craft that God gave me, the talent that God gave me. So to listen to it, it does make me proud that for me, my parents were alive and they were very proud of it. And so that's a blessing. That's a blessing. They did the best they could in spreading it around little old Midland, Texas. But very, very proud. And you couldn't have put together a better group of people. So I'm just really grateful to God, because it's definitely a God thing. And here we are with you and Felicia, and so it's a God thing.
Hello, I'm Vincent Hawkins, the senior minister of the Figaro Church of Christ, located in Los Angeles, California. I want to take this opportunity to invite you to worship with us on Sundays. Our Bible class begins at 8:50 a.m. and our morning worship at 10 a.m., and all are welcome. I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate our Associate Minister, John Edmondson, on the airing of Exodus, the Untold Story, as well as new music. We love a cappella singing here at the Figueroa Church of Christ. God bless.
It's a God thing, but yeah.
I just looked across the table and I'm like, man, he said 27 years ago, and Lamont's getting some gray hair, and my whole head is on. Wow. And the
parents,
all grown children, and
parents.
Wow. That's amazing.
Speaking of the quality of the CD tape, MP3.
Right.
That's a true testament of Johnny Wilder.
Yes.
He didn't let a lot of stuff fly.
No.
Because he told us when the Melody Airs were in studio that you wanted the best quality, so 10 years later, you still have top quality. So a lot of stuff I thought was good, he was like, that's 85%, let's do it again. I'm like, man, that's good. What's wrong with you? But he had a great ear to hear the smallest imperfection, and he made you do it over until it was right. Yeah.
It was a pancake. I didn't know it. I thought it would always pancake at me. It's a little flat. I'm like, what? Johnny? Sir? You're right.
Right.
And I thought a lot of things were okay.
Right.
Working with Johnny.
He didn't let anything go.
No.
Amazing ear.
And his encouragement while we were singing.
Right.
His encouragement, even when it was 85, and then to wait until he said, you can have a break, but come back. Let me give you a little extra time. Or come into the studio by yourself. He really was good at what he did. Yeah, with the partner. But he took his time. He took his time. And I enjoyed watching he and John talk, and now we know that they were really just talking about the next trip for Lamont.
Hi, I'm Pastor Jonathan McReynolds of Memphis, Tennessee. I am watching Exodus, the Untold Story.
So what songs would you guys say would still resonate with you now, but now that you've had more experiences and things in life? And how do you feel about the power of music and its ability to heal and encourage others?
Good question.
I think I'm glad I know you hits, I think, for me a little differently. I had originally written that song for, I think, Andy's summer tour, didn't I? Was that for you all summer tour? Or was that for
The one after mine.
Okay, all right. So I written that song for summer tour, and that particular tour didn't have a lot of vocalists. So the original "I'm Glad I Know You" didn't have a lead, and it had a key changing bridge, Kira, and never let me down, always there. So. But I was actually trying to write a song that would sound like something Lionel Richie would write. That's really what I was trying to work on. And so the song came out, and it was, people really enjoyed it. And then when we went to record it with Johnny, I said, okay, let's do some of the same thing, but let me try to add some verses. And that's when Amy and Terry were invited to kind of add what they bring to the song. And I don't know. I wish I could write lyrics like some of the lyrics I've written. I'm just, I don't know where they come from, but the lyrics in that song I think are particularly poignant, more so now, and then as I'm aging and getting older, just appreciating, the song and the lyrics of the song. I've tried to be a lyricist, so for me. It started out, I really wasn't all that crazy about the song. I thought it was kind of sleepy sounding, but all these years later, I've grown to love it. I've heard the song sang, Brian and Tiffany and that group, they did it, and then the song was taken on just a completely different shape and form. I think I was somewhere and they had remade verses to the chorus, and so it just hits differently now, and I'm just humbled to be a part of it. As a songwriter, you want to write a hit song, but it's so obvious that you cannot control what songs you think people are going to really respond to. So the fact that God allowed me to be a part of something that's encouraged people, I'm just grateful. So for me, that's kind of when it first came out versus where it is today.
Yeah. Staying there with your comment, I'm glad I know you, is now popular as a congregational song. A congregational song. That's something I would have never.
Huge. I've heard people actually call it the Church of Christ national song. That song. So I would agree that I would go with that song as being the one that resonates differently for me now when I sing it. When you first learn something, you probably don't really think about what you're singing. I know in the studio it's just like, let's just get the notes right. Let me hit these high notes, let me make sure they're coming out right. But now, my favorite person to sing it with is Amy. And I've sang it with several people, but because I think we started together, and just all the things that God has brought us through, the song has taken on a brand new meaning. I think we understand, like I said, I've even changed the thought, I try to talk to the people in the audience, but it's just so, for me, it's a relationship with God. It really takes on a different relationship for me, the song does. and your question about, what do we feel about how can music, what does it do for us? I can't remember exactly how you put it, but music is a ministry. I'm like you, John, when I write songs, I sometimes look back and listen to some of the songs that I wrote, and I'm like, where did that come from?
Right.
And you have to give all credit to the Holy Spirit.
Yes,
right.
yes.
Because God writes through us,
right.
And there's plenty of times when people will tell me, that song that you sing, it really brought me through some stuff. So the answer to the question of, what does music do? It is very healing. Right. It can be very healing to people. It can be very encouraging when just a scripture won't do it. The songs and music, pretty much like David wrote, the Psalms.
Well, to end on a lighter note, what comedic experiences do you have together that you're willing to share with us?
Let's see.
There is no comedy in Exodus.
These two together.
Hallelujah.
Keep us laughing all the time.
So we were on our little tour, and there was just a lot of back and forth about basketball. And I just remember Lamont was just really bragging about his basketball acumen. Little did we know that Terry actually went to college to play basketball. No one knew that. No one knew Terry had a jump shot, just all that. And lo and behold, somebody came up with a basketball in the van.
Somebody.
And we pulled over to the park one day and watched Terry put that on Lamont. We were just like...
Her basketball stance came back.
Now he tries not to remember it, but I remember that.
I remember it vividly. I did not lose.
Okay.
Come on, man. Terry was good. Better than what we expected, but she wasn't ready for me.
She wasn't ready.
No. Do you remember who I played before Terry? So why are we not talking about that? See, the reason why Terry was brought in is because John challenged me.
I don't remember that.
I know.
That's electric.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It's your favorite chef, Chef Brian Brown, and I'm watching Exodus, the Untold Story.
Blazing crackers, they on fire. You need a treat. You're hungry. You need something to eat. So you need a treat. You're hungry.
Hey, have you all heard the news? There is this new television network on Roku that is showing the coolest and classiest shows around, from hit talk shows, sitcoms, films, and even documentaries. One of my favorite personal shows on the network is The Sherrod Show. This show is hosted by way cool TV host Sherrod, and he features some of the biggest and brightest stars in the industries of fashion, entertainment, and of course music. Here is a list of just some of the few people that have appeared on his show. Les Brown, Joe Montega, Melissa Manchester, Tommy Davidson, Tina Knowles, Michael Collier, Tiffany, The Supremes, and of course yours truly. And for this month only, you can air your own content on the channel for just $24.95 a month. So check out what everybody's been talking about. Download Pure Essence Television for Roku today. Also, it's available on Apple and Android devices. Pure Essence Television. Fashionable, entertaining television.
We were just talking about one of the instances that occurred. We tried to drive. We did drive when we toured. And I wasn't used to driving that far. At all. I was the one really would drive and I'd go to sleep. So it was my job to drive. It was night. And it was my turn. What bridge were we going
about
over?
it. We talked about, okay, Was it just the two of us, or was Mom?
We were the only ones awake, I think. What bridge was that?
Was I there?
We were crossing Mississippi or Alabama.
That bridge.
And it was her turn, but she did not express her fear until she got behind the wheel.
Oh.
On the bridge.
Oh, no.
All I saw was the little white things going.
Right.
I don't know if it hypnotized
tell
me or what
Let
it
me
did.
tell you.
But by the time we got across that bridge, I was like, I can't drive no more. I have to pull over. And Amy still talks about me. How long did I drive?
5 minutes.
It was longer than that. I'm sure I drove longer than 5 minutes because it felt long.
It was so funny because she kept reaching under the house.
I couldn't do it.
I said, oh Lord. And then she started saying, well, you know, I really don't do much driving. Willie does. I go, well, we can't even pull over.
Right. Why did you say that?
Nowhere to go.
And it was, then she pulled over and got off the bridge. Whew. It wasn't that long.
5 minutes.
Terrified.
It was long.
It was
That was
long.
a long
It was a
bridge.
long bridge. A bridge. But
Mind
it was
you, I can
hilarious.
drive very far now. But
That taught
horrible.
you much.
That was
taught you
horrible.
much. That was funny, and we had nobody to call on. It was hilarious.
There's nothing we could do because we couldn't pull over.
Fearful, scared.
Yeah, you know, I'm just so grateful all these years later, you know, that how far God's brought us, and to just kind of see musically how we've all matured.
Yes.
Amy, after our album, went on to be one of the premier choral leaders at Southwestern Christian College, and so grateful for her talent. Lamont continued to sing, and he continued with the melody airs, and you actually do bass workshops, from what I'm told.
Minister music.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time he was complaining about songwriting, that he wasn't a songwriter, and I could already see it. Wow. You know, that creativity in him, and I knew it was just a matter of time before, you know, he would kind of develop what he needed. So now he's, you know, an accomplished songwriter. Of course, Terry, just can't say enough about Terry, you know, how God used Felicia and I to be a part of, you know, introducing her nationally to our brotherhood. That's our own little piece of that equation. And we're grateful. And Terry has, you know, not only gone on to be a premier vocalist, but a solid songwriter.
Right.
And she's done with her kids what I should have done with mine. You know, Kristen, who's actually doing our interviewing today, by the way, and then Faith and Desiree and Jeremy. They all, everybody in their family sing, but Willie, right?
Well, we actually pull in Willie
Brother
from
Mays
time
can
to
sing
time.
bass.
But Jeremy won't sing.
Oh, okay.
Willie can do bass with us sometimes.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's mainly the girls.
Okay, all right. And then Angela, Angela, I was in Dallas not too long ago, and I was preaching for Seamster on that Sunday, and Dwayne was doing worship, and I was just like, boy, that praise team is just really, really, really good. And then I looked over there, and Angie was just getting down. I said, boy, you know, so good. To just see, you know, that Angela's continuing to use her gift. She and her husband are both musical prodigies and just talented. And so I'm just grateful. Yeah. Just grateful that God, you know, has allowed us to be a part, and I'm excited about the future.
I know his word is all right. Whoa, yeah. Do you love the world?
Get inspired by watching television with the entire family that will bring you with a closer relationship with God. Christian movies, full live concerts, homecomings, gospel talk shows, kids Bible songs, reality shows, and much more, right here on the Church TV Network. Subscribe today.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
Hi, I'm Pastor Jonathan McReynolds of Memphis, Tennessee. I am watching Exodus, the Untold Story.
We have some new music that we've been working on. You guys like the new music?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Love it,
So,
love it.
yeah, so we'll be putting out some new music in 2022, and we are excited about it. We're appreciative to the Reseda congregation for their allowing us to use their facility this weekend. Our esteemed evangelist, Dr. Dwayne Winrow. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
And we're just excited about continuing this journey. We actually did the Exodus album in '94. Then we did some recording about 13 or 14 years later for the lectureship in '07. And if you can believe it or not, it's been an additional 13 or 14 years to where we are today. And so that's about 27 years between '94 and where we are today. And prayerfully, these songs you're going to like. We've added to this group, Kristen Sims.
My baby girl.
Yeah, she's going to be singing with us. Jason is going to be joining us prayerfully. Also, we have Tony Grant, who is a member here at our congregation, and Tony's a phenomenal talent. Tony's done a lot of work with Tyler Perry and just he sings all over the world, so he'll be with us as well. And we're just glad, just so glad to have them. We have a couple of strong voices here at our congregation that will be helping us out occasionally. We introduced Ray Davison, who's been with us today. Then his mom, Cheryl, she wasn't able to make it. She's actually out of the area laying to rest her aunt. So we certainly missed her. And so that's the new group. So Thursday, November 24th through Sunday, November 27th, the Christian Acapella Music Awards is happening in Jacksonville, Florida at the beautiful Hyatt Regency Riverfront. I want to encourage you to join me and so many others at this acapella music gala. Log on to my Facebook page, Cali JT. Look for the link at the top of the page, which is entitled Cama, and we'll see you there. And I guess we'll just see any parting words anyone want to share.
I'm glad I know you.
Okay. All right, so you gonna wave at the camera goodbye? We'll see you later. Finally, you're going to hear one of the songs that's going to be released on our album this fall, The Lord is in This Place. This song was written back in 1989 when I was a student at Southwestern Christian College. We've updated it. Lamont Robbins is singing the lead, as well as John Pooh Malone. I hope you enjoy it. Blessing My Life, sang by Exodus 2.0.
I want to thank you, God, for blessing my life. Now I know sometimes life may knock you down, but the Bible teaches us to always rejoice, never stop praying, and to give thanks in all your circumstances. Now it may not always be easy, but if you just take a little time, I'm sure you can find one reason to be thankful. Think about it. Oh, Lord, you have been good to me. You've been good to me. I have a beautiful wife and a great family. I can't take credit for what you have done. You've given me my daughter and I'm claiming my son. I want to thank you for blessing. You get all the glory. Yeah. Thank you for blessing me.
Help me sing. Can you tell me why? Why do we complain about the quality of life that our faith should bring? It seems we always find a reason not to be pleased. But we should be more thankful, cause God, He is blessing you and me. Yes, He does. Look at your life, you will see He makes a way out of no way.
I'm so thankful.
You should thank the Lord. I'm gonna
take the time to. Hey, every chance I get, I'm gonna say, God, you deserve it because you keep on blessing me. You keep on blessing me. Has anybody been touched by the Lord? You ought to say, magnify the Lord. Give Him glory. Let us exalt Him together.
Lift your head.
I'm gonna praise Him. I've gotta praise Him. He's been so good. If I had 10,000 tongues, it wouldn't be enough. Said, but I have to try to let you know just how good you've been. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for blessing me.
I want to thank you for watching Exodus, the Untold Story, and also listening to our new single, Blessing My Life, which is available on all streaming platforms. Well, John, how can we spread the message of Exodus? You can certainly do so by purchasing the single and sharing it, and then just talking with your friends and family about what you experienced on tonight. Thanks again for tuning in, and you'll hear more about Exodus really soon. Make sure you sign up on our Facebook page, Exodus 2.0. God bless, and we'll talk with you soon.
We need a word from God today. Something to help us, something to light our way. He has spoken. He is speaking through the Bible, only the Bible. Won't you listen? He's always teaching. Whoa, yeah. Do you love the word? The words, ever heard of gotta let you know, what I do with my God, couldn't get through. I say a medium can't tell what God's saying, 'cause they don't know it very well. He is spoken, and the Lord is speaking through the Bible, only the Bible. I hope to listen, He's always teaching. But are you listening to the word? Yeah. Oh, that I've ever heard.